issue of insecurity in this country is not something that you can situate on one particular person or group of persons. Security of a state, even a village, is dependent on the people, virtually every person. And so it is not so much of the incompetence of the elected personnel or the governor, but that there is general insecurity across the country. And it started a few years back, and I think the handling of the situation is what has led to the degeneration of where we are today. And so the current elected representative inherited a situation where, when they were campaigning, promises of making things better was what apparently persuaded the people to elect them. But when you are campaigning, the way you look at things is different from what you will meet on ground. Most time you are completely overwhelmed with what you've met. But in Benue, as the former chief security officer of that state, I will say that the situation has degenerated because of a lot of factors. Some of our boys who, for reasons that are not explainable, have also complicated the matter. And then I believe that the headers who, for no reasons that we can wrap our hands around, have consistently been attacking villages and communities in Benue. While I was there, I got even the Sultan of Sokoto involved in trying to settle it, and we're able to reach some milestones during my tenure. Subsequently, a lot of water has passed under the bridge, but I don't think that it is the incompetence of the governor. As far as I know, the elected representative, not just the governor, comes from this community, so no person, elected or not elected, will just sit down and fold his hand and watch his people being killed. So they are making efforts, but I think that those efforts need to be stepped up. A lot of people, this is not a political thing. Every person is affected, whether you are in APC, PDP, or Labour Party. All of us are affected. So it is something that all of us must sit together genuinely and agree that we will address the issue of insecurity genuinely and not playing politics with it. Once that is done, I believe that we get some solutions to it. I believe that the governor, as it were, is doing his best. A lot more people need to be involved. Our elected representative, both the House of Assembly and the National Assembly in different communities, I believe, are also working round to make sure that we find solution to this problem. The Fulanis, who are majority headers, are people that we've lived with for a long period of time, especially for the Tiv people. We and the Fulanis have this joke together. We call them our slaves, they call us our slaves. We've never had any problem. This recent phenomenon is something that started not quite long, and I think it can be explained when Colonel Muammar Gaddafi was killed, and we begin to have a lot of arms moving down, and a lot of these Fulanis, who are not necessarily Nigerians, began to move in to find food for their headers. They didn't know the values that have existed here before, and so it has become a big problem for us, not just in Benue, even in the far north, where they are closer to their point of entry, have also had their own fair share of these incessant attacks and killings. It has predominated in Benue Plateau and Nasarawa now because this is where the terrain and the grass there, as I'm told and as I know, are nutritious for the cows. So their concentration is now around that region. Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, Taraba are the ones that are hard hit because of this. But I think that with the effort being made by government, we will find a solution around it.
Now, I'd like us to focus a bit on the killings in Uromi Edo State. With so much suspicion between different tribes at the moment, what measures can be put in place to prevent a recurrence of such? What can be done to ensure justice is served and also prevent reprisal attacks, as has been threatened in some quarters?
Yeah, I think the federal government need to step out. You know, there's more lip service being paid to the insecurity in the country. I believe that the security of this country is purely in the hands of the federal government, because the federal government control these instruments of coercion, which is that of the military, the police, the immigrations, and even the prisons. And so the federal government need to step up what they're doing. The insecurity have continued because not enough is being done. No much attention is being paid to. We are engaging more in fire brigade approach. When there's an attack here, there will be noise in the next 2 weeks. Some ad hoc arrangement will be put in place, and immediately that subsides, it will be relaxed. If you have an incessant attacks or incessant security problems, I believe that what the federal government need to do is to put in place a system or an architecture that will be sustainable, an architecture that will not just be on a hot basis and will stop engaging in this fire brigade approach that when it happens is when we respond. And so once that is done, we'll be able to address it. And then there must be some serious sanctions. In spite of this incessant attack across the country, whether it is in Kaduna, it's in Uromi, it's in Benue, it's in Sokoto, anywhere, persons have not been sanctioned. No persons have been isolated and say, look, we're sanctioning this person. Because sanctions act as deterrents to potential individuals who have the potential of engaging in similar acts. But once they see that nothing serious is being done, they get more emboldened. That is what is happening. So let people be isolated. Let people be identified that these are the people who are sponsoring these people. These are the people who are causing this mayhem in the country. Once that is done, any person who has a disposition to engage in such treacherous act, we of course know that he can be arrested and prosecuted. Until that is done, people are getting more emboldened. We are becoming like a lawless society where nothing matters, everything goes. That is the responsibility of government. When you are elected, you take an oath that you are going to protect lives and property of the people. Once that singular oath, once you fail, it means that government has failed. There's nothing more important than lives and property of the people that elect a government. So I think government should take the responsibility of addressing the insecurity in the country more seriously. No matter whose goal no matter who is involved, let us address it. You know, you hear that some people who identify will not publish their names. Why not? Once you do that, it means that you're hiding people who are creating problem insecurity. And once there is insecurity in the country, it affects the economy. It affects the GDP of the country, because especially in agriculture, whether it is in agriculture or in mining, all sectors of the economy are affected. Because if you are mining, you will not be able to go there because of insecurity. So what the mining sector contributes to the GDP of a country will be down. Agriculture is most affected because for Benue, for instance, is 100% agricultural state. The people are not farming because of these attacks. And so once they're not farming, there will be food shortage. So if we must feed our people, then the insecurity in the country must be seriously addressed. Until we do that, we're going to have more problem. It can lead to a more serious, because it's assuming a more serious dimension than it did in the past. So if we don't nip it in the bud now, what will happen will be unthinkable as we move forward.
It is becoming clearer that in Nigeria we can't stop the Fulani headsmen. We can't stop them because I cannot still understand that we were told they come in on motorbikes. I mean, they could be seen in their hundreds and none of them could be arrested by the security agencies. You know, no security agent could arrest any of these Fulani, so they come in their numbers on bikes and they could be seen and no arrest until today, and they will come and buy people in their hundreds and none of them is undergoing any form of prosecution, not even arrest. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. I'm just wondering if before these people invade Nigeria, do they use juju? Do they hypnotize Nigerian paramilitary, police and all that, even the presidency, people's mouths are heavy to come out to condemn the attack. Have you seen any other, condemning the Fulani headsmen? Have you seen even the Christians in the north? People are so silent, as if nothing is happening while so much is happening. The rate at which all this evil is being perpetrated in Nigeria calls for questioning. The worst of it is the audacity of these Fulani headers. The way they will just be coming into a community they know nothing about, and they will boldly go to start buying people, and then they will leave. They will come in, buy people and still leave. But don't forget that the governor told us 64 communities have been taken over. It means that they have illegal occupants occupying the 64 communities. This is just for Plateau State. What about other states? What about other states? Nobody to speak for them, nobody to come to their rescue. So guys, I don't know what you make of what is happening today in Nigeria. So from the look of things, it appears we'll not be able to fight insecurity in Nigeria.
How these governors describe these invaders in their land, they will look like non-Nigerians who had AK-47 and bazooka on their shoulder and with cattle in their front. That is the kind of picture they painted to me. Like, these people are not Nigerians. They speak a language not really very much understandable by Nigerians. They come into their land, take over their lands, and they're farming and they're taking over and mining in those lands. Is that a situation that we find around that area? Is that what you discovered in your meetings?
You see, every state has its own peculiar security challenge. It's not a common problem all over the place. For instance, during our meeting, we discovered that there is a common problem between Niger and Kwara, and they are taking an action, a joint operation together. We found out that there is a problem right now at the border of Nasarawa, and then the local government you were trying to mention, actually the local government of the governor in Plateau, that is Bokos. So between Bokos, his local government, Wamba local government in Nasarawa State, which is neighboring local government with my own local government of Akwanga, and then Taraba. Also, we have to take a joint operation in that particular area. Those are the kinds of things that are happening. But you see, the problem we have in that particular place is different completely from the problem we had in Bassa, where the latest attack as far as Plateau is concerned have taken place. You remember, Plateau and Nasarawa used to be the same place, so I'm very familiar with all these places. Those are the kinds of challenges. But as I said, the lengthy discussion we had with the general yesterday has shown that we must introduce more of resources in form of technology, in form of people, to support the military in order for us. And then the biggest of them all in form of communication. So we need to be able to assist the military with more communication, with more information. So that's the only way that they will be able to achieve this. And I think that's what we decided we are going back to do.
So when the governor of Benue State was describing how these elements come into the state, similar to the manner in which the governor of Plateau State also described it, he said they were on motorbikes, about 200-300 of them, troop into the community. And it does look to me, when I spoke with interestingly, the vice president, who was the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, or speak with Governor Zulum, the description looked like what we saw in Borno State on the northeastern region of the country, and how these terrorists attack. They come on motorbikes in a very difficult terrain and they move in and out. But the interesting thing about the north central region problem, and how it's a bit different from the northeast, is because they were leaving the shores of the country, the borders of the country. But these guys, these terrorists, are invading the north central region. They are in the country. Wherever they go, they're sandwiched in the country. How difficult is it to identify these people?
Well, it's not that difficult to identify them because they speak a different kind of Fulfulde. You see, when they speak, because they look
Fulani.
They look Fulani.
They had Fulani.
But their Fulfulde is but the way they don't speak Hausa. Okay, so and we have a lot of videos of them. Sometimes they are gusty enough to actually be to be recording their operations. And when they do that, they send the videos, and sometimes
we understand that even on TikTok.
Yeah, intelligence are able to give us some of those videos, and then you can see clearly that some of those people are that. But you see, as I said, it is not all the problems that we have. The problem of Mahmuda in Kwara, it's not the same problem with those people. You have just mentioned about the people that were killed. It's not the problem of those people that you are talking about, that are speaking this kind of language. These people, you have to consider what is happening in their countries. Right now, the Republic of Niger, is having its own a lot of security challenges, economic challenges, security challenges, and some of these people cross over
Are we able to profile their country if we are not able? I mean, some say they're Malians, some say they are Nigerians. But I mean, we cannot be helpless and not be able to at least identify our ops. I mean, opposition.
Well, I think the security agencies are the best to answer that, because they are able sometimes to do that, and sometimes they are able also tell us to be careful what they tell us and what we say and what we disclose and things like that. So they are in a better position to tell you which particular nation they are from. But those countries you are talking about, all the way to Senegal, if you look at it, the people look alike. From Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, and the rest of that, they look more or less alike. So it's very difficult for anybody to identify and say, oh, they are from Mali.
But does it worry you, Governor, that they are now taking oath, they're chasing people out of their territories, and they are now manning and living in those areas?
They are not living in those areas, Shegun. It is, the way it's being reported sometimes, like I said, the governor of Plateau just told me 45 minutes ago that actually they were not resident in Plateau. They come from one or two places and then they attack and they go back to such places. So evidently their base is not in Plateau. Sometimes also some of these people that you see in Benue, in most cases, on their way, when Otom was the governor, during my first tenure, there were many times I received intelligence that I saw a lot of these people crossing Nasarawa State, coming from southern Kaduna, crossing Nasarawa State, and we monitor them. But they don't stop in Nasarawa State, they go to Benue. Two reasons why they go to Benue. Number one is actually the river, especially during the dry season. So River Benue is an attraction for some of those people. The kind of feeding for some of these herders is also a place. And sometimes they go looking for trouble. Because at the time, the state of Benue had this anti-open grazing law. And they believe, it was against them, it was this, and, so those kinds of things, but this was during the first tenure. When this governor came, he relaxed all those conditions. So we are not seeing a lot of them now crossing from Nasarawa State into that. Instead, you see them coming from the other side of the river. Most of these borders we have, are very porous. It is very difficult to protect the Nigerian border from Niger, from Chad, from Cameroon. All these people actually.
Is it not strange that?
Welcome back, my people. This insecurity issue in this country is turning to something else. As you guys can see in this video, now don't hear within Governor of Nasarawa State talk inside this video, and also here within Gabriel Suzwan talk inside this video. See the way this insecurity, the way they are treating insecurity in this country. If it continuously that, see, we will not be able. Our farmers will not be able to go to farm, and we will not be able to fight the insecurity in this country because of the way they won't take this matter go now. This matter, if you look at what Gabriel Suzwan talking in this video, he talk and see, then it look like all the insecurity fault is not supposed to be on the governor. See, make I break some things. Obviously, in talk for Una. Okay, I say put on like that. Okay, he's trying to just justify them. He's just trying to justify them based on say, okay, he get everything them that they came from all this thing that is going on. If not, okay, a normal person, how can a normal person be coming out to say, okay, insecurity in every state, maybe we not put them on governor, say, okay, now them be the causes. Them not be governor be the causes. Okay, who can't be the causes? Now me where they talk be the causes, I be now people now the indigenous of this thing, now them be the causes. This thing, the way they want like they carry this matter go, them better. We Niger, thank God, okay, Niger guys now, they know they wait for anybody say me, they come fight for them again. Any Fulani headers, we see they catch. Now, so they go just buy them. Thank God, say, okay, they don't set on that, and we like the way they put them. If you look at Nasarawa State on Sunday, being 28th, now so they enter Nasarawa State by people anyhow for inside under New Karabi. They buy many people. That issue just there on ground. They never settle the matter. They buy 2 persons in New Yanya, Nasarawa State. They buy 2 people. Nobody talk. Nobody bring that one up. But this insecurity, them see they talk and say, okay, no be president, no be governor, no be them be the causes. If not be them be the causes, so now we can't be the causes. You heard the again, anything I'm saying, won't talk about this insecurity that is going on. I beg make it drop on for inside comment section. And also, if now today be your first time, please make it like our video, make it share, and make it subscribe. Thank you.